Camera, night shift. Hum, fluorescent wash over a polished hospital corridor. A floor buffer's low whir recedes as a cart slows beside a glass-walled ICU room. Beeping is crisp, not frantic, then suddenly ramps up. Ruth Cole, hospital cleaner, stops her cart. Her daughter, Amara, 18, hoodie braid, backpack with cracked zipper, stands close enough to read the vitals in the reflection. Nurse Maya Ortiz, under her breath, not again. Inside, Luca Moretti, 21, gaunt but aristocratic, lies intubated. A cluster of monitors stutter. Behind the glass, men in expensively casual jackets stiffen. Security is present, but pretending not to be. Officer Frank, ma'am, keep the aisle clear. Amara, we're not in the aisle. Dr. Elena Park slides into frame, hands firm, voice steady. Two residents pivot with her, checking lines, whispering lab values. Resident Qureshi, temp spiking after the flush again. Dr. Park, document it, no assumptions. Vito Moretti, polished shoes, tired eyes, a suit cut like a blade, stands at the door, hands clasped, jaw set. He looks less like a myth and more like a father who hasn't slept in 3 weeks. Vito, you told me he was stable. Dr. Park, he was. This is another reaction. Ruth, soft to Amara, eyes down. Amara, not looking away. His fever. What time did it spike last night? Maya, not for you to know, sweetheart. But the clock on the wall answers 2:17, a pattern noted in silence. Old rumor, whispered in the cafeteria, documented in a leaked internal email. After 3 weeks, they had rotated in and consulted with 100 clinicians' specialties across the city. According to the memo Amara saw discarded on a printer, the official phrase was extensive multidisciplinary review. On camera and on paper, it meant, we don't know. Amara glances at the medication cart. A box of small clear vials sits tucked behind a stack. New label design, off-center. She doesn't touch. She watches the barcode labels flutter when the HVAC kicks on. Maya, flush line ready. Amara, that box, who brought that box? Frank, that's enough. Step back. In the glass, Luca's eyelashes don't move. A monitor finally calms. The silence after the alarm is unnatural. Voiceover, not omniscient, but recorded later from an interview with Dr. Park. We changed antibiotics. We swapped lines. We broadened the search. The vitals mocked us every night. Amara studies the cleaning schedule on her mother's clipboard. Times, stations, restock windows. Amara, Mom, 2:17. Ruth, we do the ICU around 1:45. Pharmacy restocks at 2. The camera holds on Amara's face. The click inside her isn't divine, it's practiced. Bus timetables, shift grids, test prep, the way she memorizes where her mother caches her bleach to avoid cross-contamination. Cut to, phone screen in Amara's hand. A note typed with one thumb. Fever spike matches flush. Batch numbers? Lower third title. St. Eustace Medical Center, ICU, week 3. Title card. In quiet white text over the corridor. Like and subscribe for more stories that challenge prejudice and celebrate courage. Part 2. What people say versus what the paper shows. Camera. Cafeteria. 4:30 a.m. Vending machine hum. Empty chairs. A TV plays muted local news about a mystery illness. A microwave door clangs. Ruth slides in at a corner table. Amara unfolds a cheap spiral notebook. Ruth, we don't look at men like that. Amara, like what? Ruth, like we can fix what scares them? Amara doesn't argue. She sketches a grid, dates down, hours across. She marks red dots at 2:17, last night, 2 nights ago, 4 out of 4. Voiceover sourced from a recorded phone call with a pharmacy tech who insisted on anonymity. We've had supply issues since the new distributor. Admin says the product meets spec, but the labels, I don't know, they're off. The lot numbers are long, wrong font. Maybe I'm paranoid. Cut to, a hallway camera catches a dolly stacked with boxes labeled saline flushes, rolling past the ICU doors around 2 a.m. It's routine. It's invisible. Back in the cafeteria, a resident, Samir Qureshi, stumbles in, scrubs wrinkled, hair collapsed. He recognizes Ruth by face, nods politely. Qureshi, hard night. Amara, what gets flushed at 2? Qureshi, half smiling. Everything. Lines get maintained. Why? Amara, just curious. Qureshi squints at the grid. Qureshi, that's a nice spreadsheet for a napkin. Amara, it's a notebook. Qureshi, you a pre-med? Amara, I clean. I code when no one's looking. Camera, the notebook view. Ammunition of dots aligned. Not a fix, just a pattern. Maya's voice from an earlier statement to risk management read off a printed page. Patient spikes after central line maintenance, not necessarily flush. Could be coincidence. Could be line colonization. We follow protocol. We read the barcode. We do the scrub. We do not cut corners. Frank the security guard, off to the side, radio clipped to his collar. Boss wants no one near that room without authorization. You hear me? No Windex heroes. Ruth, we're invisible, Frank. Frank, not tonight. Vito Moretti's silhouette in the reflection of the cafeteria window, present even when not in the room. Amara, Mom, you still have the broken label from last week? Ruth goes silent. Then she pulls a crumpled sticker from her tunic's pocket, the one that clung to a trash bag and wouldn't let go. Camera pushes into the sticker in Amara's palm. A lot number, misaligned. The hospital logo reproduced poorly. Voiceover from a paragraph of an email displayed on Amara's borrowed phone. Subject line, procurement update. Read later in deposition. Due to supply chain constraints, we have temporarily approved alternate vendors for saline flushes and heparinized saline. Products are ISO certified. Staff should note minor packaging differences. Amara, minor differences. She folds the sticker into the notebook like a pressed leaf. The science isn't hers. The pattern is. Part 3. The door. Everyone walks past. Camera. ICU hallway. Dawn bleeding into glass. Machines settle into circadian hum. The men in jackets have vanished into morning, replaced by coffee and day crew. Dr. Park reviews Luca's chart with Maya. Dr. Park, white count up, then down. Culture's negative. Every intervention looks like a trigger. Maya, he whispers with his eyes. He's tired. Dr. Park, so am I. A clipboard clacks. Administrator Halverson appears. Tie crisp, smile cooler than the HVAC. Halverson, how is our VIP? Dr. Park, the same. Halverson, define the same. Dr. Park, alive, reactive, no diagnosis. Halverson, let's avoid the phrase no diagnosis in any written communication. Amara steps closer, not too close. She holds up the notebook without words. Dr. Park, can I help you? Amara, I think something's happening after the line flushes. Your spikes happen at the same time every night. I mapped it. Halverson, who is this? Ruth, she's with me. Amara points, not touching, to the port at Luca's bedside, visible through the glass. Swab caps like orange constellations, the label where the flush came from last night, thrown away but an echo remains. Tiny blue fibers caught in the seam of a bin. Amara. The lot numbers changed 3 weeks ago. My mom collects stickers. She can't help it. The font's different. If the flush is contaminated... Halverson, stop. Please stop. Dr. Park, do you have documentation? Amara, I have this. She flips to a photo of the sticker, the cafeteria grid, a shot of the cart at 2:03 a.m. Dr. Park, who took that? Amara, the camera did. Dr. Park studies Amara's face, not the notebook. Dr. Park, bring this to quality, today. Halverson, that's not how evidence is gathered. Dr. Park, evidence starts as a complaint. Maya, Dr. Park, we'll test the vials, quietly. Ruth, is that allowed? Dr. Park, what's allowed is a boy breathing. Camera holds on Halverson's internal calculation behind his eyes. In a smaller room, Qureshi inserts one vial from the suspect box into a transport bag. He labels it stat for endotoxin screen, and another test he doesn't say out loud. Qureshi, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Amara, if you're right, do it fast. Voiceover, from a later city inspector's report, read aloud by a serious man with a pen. The hospital noted a cluster of adverse responses temporally associated with maintenance of central venous access. The correlation was first raised by a non-clinical staff family member based on observation of restocking schedules. The line reads clinical, but in the frame, Amara looks like any teenager trying to explain a code only she can see. Part 4. The pushback camera. Small conference room. A whiteboard with patient-abbreviated names. Coffee rings. A box of donuts someone meant to share and didn't. Halverson, we do not have a contamination issue. Legal wants that sentence in everyone's mouth. Dr. Park, we'll let the lab say that. Halverson, in the meantime, do not tell the family that their son's lines are being flushed with... Dr. Park, with caution. Halverson, with caution. Good, say that. A nurse representative from night shift thumbs through a paper stack. Nurse rep, we scanned every vial. Barcodes register. If it's counterfeit, it's clean enough to fool the scanner. Qureshi, barcodes tell you what it thinks it is, not what it is. Amara sits in the corner, small, hoodie zipped to the throat. Ruth stands behind her like a second spine. Halverson, whose daughter is this? Why is she in this room? Ruth, she helped clean your room when your toilet backed up last month. A flicker of surprise, then nothing. Amara, I'll wait outside. Dr. Park, stay. A loud knock interrupts. Vito Moretti fills the doorway, flanked by Frank. Vito, I don't need permission to stand where my son is being discussed. Halverson, Mr. Moretti, we assure you. Vito, don't assure me. Fix him. He sees Amara, pauses. Vito, who are you? Amara, nobody. Vito, you have notes. Nobodies don't carry notes. Silence settles. The clock ticks like a metronome with a grudge. Qureshi's phone buzzes. He checks, face tightening. Qureshi, lab says they'll have preliminary by noon. They sounded careful. Halverson, in the interim, we will continue standard of care. Dr. Park, we can stop all non-essential flushes until results. Halverson, that could compromise line patency. Maya, we can use heparin sparingly. Amara, use the stock from 3 weeks ago. Different lot. The one that had labels with the old printer bleed on the edges. You still have some. In the ER crash cart. I saw it yesterday when they left it open for inspection. Heads turn. Maya cautious. I can check. Vito to Amara. You watch too much. Amara. I watch just enough. There's a quick cut to hands. Maya's hands rummaging a drawer. A small victory. 6 vials. Dusty blue caps. Dr. Park. We'll use those for Luca's line. Document it. Halverson. If there's a problem with our supply chain, we address it internally. Dr. Park. Or we fix the boy. In a hallway, after, Vito falls into step beside Ruth and Amara. Vito. If you're right, I owe you. Amara. You don't owe me. Somebody owes him, though. Vito. You know who I am? Ruth. We know your son is a patient. Vito. Good answer. Frank glances between them, intrigued, uneasy. The corridors carry their breathing back to them. Part 5. The break in the fever camera. ICU glass again. A digital clock ticking toward noon. Luca's eyes are closed. His chest rises with the measured push of a machine. Maya wipes the line port with methodical respect. She taps her badge to scan a vial from the older stock. The scanner balks. Old code, slower beep. Maya. Manual entry. Fine. Dr. Park. I'll watch. Amara stands behind the dotted line for family and authorized visitors. The line that means don't cross unless someone is dying. Ruth whispers, why does the room feel colder? Amara. Because somebody turned off a small fire. Vito arrives, for once alone. He stands beside the glass, hands on the metal frame, looking not at his son but at the reflection of himself next to him. Vito the lab. Qureshi. Half an hour, they say. The hospital doesn't dramatize. It breathes with them. A beep every 3 seconds. The clock's red digits changing like a slow game. At 2:17 a.m., the fever had climbed by habit. Now at noon, electronic fever curve arcs on the monitor's line. If the curve flattens, it isn't proof. If it spikes, it isn't proof. It's a heartbeat of probability. Amara counts under her breath. Numbers are rosaries. 30 minutes. 60. Maya logs vitals. The spike they expect doesn't arrive. Instead, the temperature curves its shoulders inward. Maya. Temp. Stable. Dr. Park. Check again. Maya. Stable. A sound escapes Vito that is not a cry but the idea of one. Qureshi's phone buzzes again. He reads and looks up. Qureshi. Preliminary indicates endotoxin presence in 3 vials from the suspect lot. Also unknown surfactant residue. Lab wants to confirm with more samples, but it's not clean. Dr. Park exhales. Not relief yet. Recognition. Dr. Park. Pull every box with that lot number, now. Halverson appears as if summoned by liability. Halverson. We will not make any public statements until... Dr. Park. This is not about statements. This is about lines. Maya? Maya. Already pulling them. Vito turns to Amara. Vito, you did this. Amara. We did. They did. The lab did. I just saw the pattern. Vito. No, you saw what we didn't, because nobody was looking at you. Ruth's hand finds Amara's shoulder, an anchor in a corridor made of water. Voiceover, from a later journalistic piece based on internal documents, read in a neutral newsroom cadence. The procurement emails show a scramble. Cost pressures, emergency approvals, a broker whose business address is a mailbox in an office park. The hospital's scanners registered the codes. The fluids inside did not match the labels. The first person to line up the dots was a cleaner's daughter who likes math. Camera returns to Luce's face. The small human detail. A flutter at the temple, as if relief could be visible. Part 6. The silence around an admission camera. Afternoon, hospital boardroom, with too much glass and too many water bottles. The skyline looks patient and uninterested. Halverson. We have to contact the city, quietly. Dr. Park. There is no quiet way to do it right. Legal counsel, a woman with a pencil skirt and a pen that matches, flips through a binder. Counsel. The vendor's contract was conditional on ISO compliance. If the product is counterfeit, there is fraud. Qureshi. The lab will confirm by morning. We already switched stock for critical patients. Counsel. Then we draft the recall. Ruth and Amara wait in the corridor. Not in the room. They can see silhouettes. They can hear nothing. Frank walks up, leans on the wall near them. Frank. When this is over, you'll have to tell me how you did that. Amara. Not magic. A notebook. Frank. People like him. He nods toward Vito's shadow. They don't say thank you often. Amara. He doesn't have to. Making them stop is enough. Inside the boardroom, voices lift. Halverson. We cannot confirm contamination until the lab confirms. We will not use that word. Dr. Park. The boy's fever fell when we stopped using it. That's not a word. That's a sign. Counsel. Prepare 2 statements. One for internal, one for press. Don't lie. Vito, just beyond the threshold, hears enough to know there will be consequences. He steps into the hall toward Ruth and Amara. Vito, what do you want? Ruth, my shift to end on time? Amara. A scholarship program for environmental services staff, kids, and a fund to make sure someone double-checks those barcodes against what's in the vials, not the label. You asked what I want. Vito, genuinely off balance. I expected you to ask for money. Amara, that's money, just not the kind you hand me in an envelope. Vito studies her, the way a man evaluates a contract he didn't expect to sign. Vito, you trying to make me look soft? Amara, I'm trying to make this place safe. He almost smiles, almost. Voiceover in future tense from the city. Inspector reports draft. The facility initiated an internal recall before notifying authorities. Systemic lapses in procurement oversight were identified. Corrective actions included independent lot verification and staff-focused scholarship commitments announced at a press conference. That last detail wasn't in the report, but by the time the words were filed, something had changed in someone who could write checks without looking. Part 7. The face behind the shadow camera. Luca's room in late evening. The machines are less busy. The air is warmer by implication. Dr. Park adjusts the ventilator settings. A respiratory therapist nods. Dr. Park, if he keeps this up, we can try to wean. Maya. He blinked twice when I asked if he could hear me. Dr. Park, keep talking to him. Outside, Vito stands alone, no entourage. He motions to Amara. Vito, walk. They take the corridor that overlooks the atrium. The hospital looks like a shopping mall from here, and like a cathedral if you squint. Vito, my father came here once with a bullet in him. He was grateful. He paid in ways I'm not proud of. I thought paying is what you do to make people care. Amara, you can't buy care. You can buy cleaner floors. Vito, your mother keeps them like a mirror. Amara, she taught me mirrors don't change you. They show you. He nods, more a bow than a nod. Vito, if this gets out, people will say my son is weak, or that someone tried to hurt him through his drip. People say things about us like they know. Amara, people said my mom should keep her daughter out of men's business. I didn't listen. Vito, good. He looks out again into the architecture. Vito, I can fund your scholarship. I can fund the double checks, but I can't protect you from what comes when people know you were the one who saw what they didn't. Amara, I don't need protection. I need a seat at the table. Vito, you have that. From below, Frank watches them, radio silent for once. Later, in the break room, Ruth presses a paper cup of tea into Amara's hands. Ruth, you scared me. Amara, me too. Ruth, not because of him, because of now. You were seen. Amara, I was invisible long enough. Voiceover, from a recorded conversation with Maya for the later piece. She didn't talk like a hero. She talked like a person who cleans up after other people's mistakes and got tired of watching us not see ours. Part 8. The public scene. Camera, press conference setup in the hospital atrium. Flags, podium with the hospital logo, cameras on tripods, a line of speakers, Halverson, Dr. Park, a city health official, and, unexpectedly, Vito Moretti in a plain suit. Halverson, today, we are initiating a recall of specific lots of saline flushes procured through an alternate vendor. Based on internal testing and ongoing city review, we believe some vials may be contaminated. Reporter, how many patients were affected? City official, we are reviewing records. The hospital has been proactive. A journalist lifts a hand. Journalist, we've heard from staff that a pattern was first noticed by a non-clinical worker. Dr. Park, a staff family member observed the timing of events. Their attentiveness contributed meaningfully to our response. Vito steps up to the microphone without being called. Vito, my son is alive because someone this hospital doesn't pay enough to be listened to drew a line between 2 points. I was raised to think power solves everything. Power can't read a barcode. A camera flashes. Vito, I'm endowing a scholarship for the children of environmental services and food service staff at St. Eustace. I'm also funding independent verification for critical supplies, so the next time a scanner lies, a human being will catch it. Gasps, murmurs, pencils scratch. Reporter, sir, are you admitting wrongdoing? Vito, I'm admitting gratitude. That's new for me. In the wings, Amara looks down at her shoes. Ruth squeezes her hand. Halverson swallows a professional discomfort and steps back to the microphone. Halverson, we accept that we must do better. We thank those who hold us accountable, from within and without. The official statement words land neat and flat. The unscripted ones echo. Voiceover from an email Amara receives that night. Subject, congratulations from Quality and Safety. We invite you to join a summer internship focused on process improvement. Based on your observations, we believe you would contribute meaningfully. Amara types a response and deletes it 3 times. Finally, Amara, typing, thank you, I'll be there. Camera. On the mezzanine, Frank tapes up a handwritten sign with permission. Check the lot number twice. Ask the nurse to show you. Safety is everyone's. Part 9. Aftermath. With Edge's camera. Cafeteria. A week later. New sunlight. Real laughter. Ruth and Amara share a breakfast sandwich, cut in 2. Ruth. They changed the caps on the vials. New color. Amara. Easy to see. Maya joins, sliding into a plastic chair. Maya. Luke is breathing on his own for 2 hours at a time. He squints when I tell bad jokes. Ruth. All your jokes are bad. Maya. That's how we know he's back. He's suffering. They laugh. Voiceover excerpt from the city's official findings, projected on screen during a staff town hall. Counterfeit medical supplies entered the hospital supply chain through an unvetted broker. Hospital staff identified anomalies. Rapid intervention likely prevented further harm. We recommend independent verification steps, whistleblower protections, and staff education. Halverson, at the town hall podium, looks older. He looks at Amara in the back row. Halverson, we will be implementing scholarship support for staff families in partnership with the Moretti Foundation. Applications open next month. People clap like they mean it. Later, a mechanic whir of a printer in quality and safety. Amara watches as a laminated checklist emerges. Steps for verifying supply lots. Her name is not on it. She doesn't mind. Dr. Park appears at the doorway with 2 coffees. Dr. Park, I took a risk on you. Amara, you took the right risk on the right day. Dr. Park, that's what taking a risk is. You want to round with us? Just to watch? Amara, always. Cut to a quiet corridor at dusk. Vito walking alone. Frank falls in beside him. Frank, kids these days. Vito, don't call her a kid. Frank, you didn't say thank you to me when I stopped that thing at the door last year. Vito, I'm learning. You want a medal? Frank, I'll take a raise. They both almost smile. In a small scene, Ruth at a bus stop, Amara beside her. Across the street, a billboard with a painted slogan advertising the hospital's safety initiative. It's a little too shiny, it still matters. Amara, people will say he's trying to buy back his soul. Ruth, we don't spend souls here, we mop floors. Amara, and we read the labels. They watch the bus crawl up the avenue. Part 10, the line that turned camera, the ICU at golden hour. Luca sits upright in bed, thick blanket over his lap, bare head, mouth dry but smiling. Tubes reduced to almost nothing. He nods at Dr. Park, who nods back like they're equals now. Vito stands in the doorway. He doesn't enter. He looks like a father who can't find his hands. Vito, you want to see her? Luca, the girl who likes charts. Vito, the girl who saw you. Amara steps in. She stays near the foot of the bed. Luca, thank you. Amara, don't thank me. Drink water. He laughs without coughing. It is small. It is a miracle made only of humans. Later, on the hospital roof, wind thumping at the loose metal sign. The skyline is patient again. Voiceover, built from the reporter's final narration, collaged from interviews, memos, and the sound of a mop bucket rolling. According to the lab report, the vials contained endotoxin agents likely introduced in a facility that never should have touched medical fluid. According to procurement emails, cost and speed won over diligence until a staff family member raised a pattern we cannot pretend was obscure. According to witnesses, what saved a young man's life was not a miracle, or a gun, or a name, but the attention of someone who was never trained to be listened to. Amara, I'm going to study systems, not medicine, maybe. Or maybe medicine, whatever lets me keep doing this. Ruth, whatever keeps you kind. Amara, kind isn't soft. Ruth, I didn't say soft. A phone buzzes in Amara's pocket. A message from Quality and Safety, a calendar invite for her first internship meeting. She accepts it without fanfare. Frank leans against the roof rail, squinting into sunset. Frank, next time you see a pattern, just tell me before you tell the world. Amara, next time you see a problem, tell me before you tell the boss. He taps the brim of an imaginary hat. Vito, appearing like weather changing, keeps his distance. Vito, I've done things, some of them I can't undo. Amara, then start with what you can do. He nods, walks away. A man learning to admit he's wrong, if only in the quiet places. The camera holds on Amara's face as wind moves a loose strand of braid. She writes a single line in her notebook before closing it. Look at who we overlook. Title card rises again, not as an ad but as a benediction. Like and subscribe for more stories that challenge prejudice and celebrate courage. Final line, spoken by Amara in the corridor she has made her own. The truth wasn't hidden, we were. Once you see that, you stop asking for permission to be right.